Standard Chartered presents 18th India Business Leader Awards in partnership with Hindustan Times. Ali Bangash and Ayan Ali Bangash, accompanied by Satyajit Talwalkar on tabla and Sridhar Parthasathe on mridangam.
Namaskar and a very good evening to all of you. It's such an honor to be here today and perform for such a distinguished audience. We'll begin our recital with a tribute to the iconic poet, composer and freedom fighter, the great Rabindranath Tagore. We just celebrated his birth anniversary a few days ago. So we'll play a song very closely associated with the great Tagore, based on folk music from Bengal. So a tribute to Rabindranath Tagore. Thank you so much. Thank you. Please give a big hand to Satyajit Talwalkar on the tabla and Sridhar Parthasarathy ji on the mridangam. We will conclude with the evergreen Rag Desh, resonating the ethos of India, where we convey the message of unity and diversity. We'll play some compositions of different ragas and conclude with this piece. Thank you once again.
As the world becomes disruptively digital, CNBC-TV18 stands at the forefront of the revolution, dominating India's business news landscape for over 2 decades. Leveraging the strength of a fully integrated digital newsroom and becoming the one-stop digital destination for all things news, finance, business, investing, tech, lifestyle, and more. The flagship business years, India's #1 business news channel has been empowering investors and business leaders. CNBC-TV18 is the destination for India's biggest influence.
When you are ready to put the interest of the company ahead of your personal interest, the job becomes easier.
The undisputed leader of the English business news genre since its inception, powering the nation's business agenda and shaping the Indian growth story.
India's moving ahead for Atmanirbharta.
The Indian growth story.
India's moving ahead for Atmanirbharta.
Delivering unmatched insight and analysis trusted by key decision makers around the world. Transforming India's investment landscape. By giving investors a critical edge. Championing and celebrating entrepreneurial ingenuity.
If there was any other show that was reflective of the growth of the startup ecosystem, it's just Young Turks.
Gaining a bigger perspective on global events. Dominating the English business news space by leading week after week. Igniting conversations and addressing challenges to make gender parity an attainable reality. Helping our viewers make bigger and smarter decisions at every opportunity.
Massive potential opportunities we have in defense R&D.
Going beyond business. With limitless insights. Expert analysis and infinite inspiration. CNBC-TV18 has helped its viewers disrupt the status quo and redefine success. "18 years. Seems like a long time to pursue a goal. Yet, it's a short time to influence a nation. It's just a chapter in a journey of a lifetime, but a legacy when you drive a change. The India Business Leader Awards have been a testament to this truth over the last 18 years.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much once again on behalf of the entire CNBC TV18 family for joining us here for the India Business Leader Awards.
A journey where each passing moment was about leadership.
CNBC का मैं बहुत आभारी हूँ, उनको शुभकामनाएं देता हूँ कि देश की विकास की यात्रा में पार्टनर बनने के लिए एक कदम उठाए, आगे आए।
CNBC TV18, I believe that you are the success story of modern India. What you have achieved, others take decades to achieve. It's a special privilege to receive this award from CNBC TV18.
It was conceived as an initiative to recognize achievements, innovation, and above all, excellence. But it evolved into a responsibility to uphold the benchmarks of leadership that shape our nation. It became a symbol of prestige for passionate achievers, a platform for those who challenge the status quo, an inspiration for the dreamers, the free thinkers, the disruptors. A stage where achievers became nation builders, where leaders emerged as role models, where conversations became defining moments in India's growth story.
The pursuit of inspiration, empowering visionaries to drive innovation. The pursuit for enduring growth, honoring game-changing achievers. The pursuit of unmatched legacy. 18 years and counting. The CNBC TV18 India Business Leader Awards, as prestigious as the leaders they honor.
Standard Chartered presents India Business Leader Awards, a legacy inspiring excellence, in partnership with Hindustan Times. Please welcome your hosts for the evening, CNBC TV18's Sonia Shenoy and Shruti Mishra.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and a very warm welcome to the 18th edition of the CNBC TV18 India Business Leader Awards, presented by Standard Chartered in partnership with Hindustan Times.
An evening where we celebrate and honor the outstanding achievements of exceptional leaders in the business world. These leaders have demonstrated extraordinary leadership skills, innovative thinking, and a commitment to excellence, making them truly deserving of this recognition.
These leaders have not only made a significant impact on their companies, but have also contributed to the growth and success of their respective industries.
Indeed. Now, the year 2022 was full of global uncertainties. Humanity had to pay a high price for the Russia-Ukraine war, and many nations are struggling with its economic fallout. Global economies are seeing a slowdown, the cost of living crisis has intensified in many developed nations, and the International Monetary Fund predicts a rocky recovery at best in 2023.
But you know what, Shruti? India remained resilient and even emerged as a bright spot in this scenario of global doom and gloom. World business leaders like Satya Nadella and Tim Cook have made their way here and reinforced their faith in the India growth story. So fittingly, this year's theme at IBLA is India at 2023, Resilience to Resurgence.
Yes, and just like India, the businesses we are felicitating tonight have also shown resilience and are contributing to our nation's glory. So, without further ado, let's get started with the India Business Leader Awards to celebrate the best in the business world.
All right, to kick off the celebrations tonight, ladies and gentlemen, I'd first like to invite on stage Shireen Bhan, Managing Editor, CNBC-TV18, for a welcome address.
Honourable Minister for Oil and Gas and Urban Development, Mr. Hardeep Puri, thank you so much, sir, for flying down all the way from Delhi to be with us here this evening. The Honourable Deputy Chief Minister of Maharashtra, quite the newsmaker this evening, if I may add, Mr. Fadnavis, thank you so much, sir, for being with us here. A man who is in many places at the same time, but today is here with us, the Sherpa of the G20 and the former CEO of the Niti Aayog, Mr. Amitabh Kant. It's always a pleasure. Thank you very, very much for joining us here this evening. My very warm welcome and gratitude to the India Business Leader Awards jury, to the nominees and the winners. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much for joining us here for the 18th edition of the prestigious India Business Leader Awards. Your presence and participation is appreciated and deeply valued by each and every one of us. And now 18 is a special number for all of us, as you can imagine here at CNBC-TV18. It is quite literally part of our identity. And I could romanticize and paint this as a coming-of-age milestone. But lucky for our viewers, we've been adulting for the past 2 decades that we've been around. Now, CNBC-TV18 continues to be one of India's most credible news brands with an over 90% share of the television business news genre. We have grown, we have evolved. We are no longer just a stock market television channel. We are a news brand across television, the web, and social media. We are quite literally out of the box, and we intend to make everything that matters to India and her people our business. As a brand, we will not shy away from treading into uncharted waters. We will go after every single need to encourage gender parity at the workplace with as much force as we do every morning when the stock markets begin trading. We will address the issue of mental well-being with the same rigor that goes into analyzing balance sheets every day. Today, we reaffirm our commitment to providing credible, actionable insights and information that add value to the lives of our consumers. Ladies and gentlemen, we take our leadership very seriously. We also do not take it for granted. We are obsessed with our consumers and paranoid about staying relevant in a very fast-changing world. Like most of you in this room, we've learned to be agile and nimble, but never at the cost of credibility or diligence. We can debate and argue about the hegemony of the dollar, and I'm sure Mr. Kotak here will do plenty of that, but I'm sure you will all agree that trust is the best currency to trade in, and it is our best asset as well. It is this spirit of trust and transparency that drives not just our newsroom, but the India Business Leader Awards. Year after year, ladies and gentlemen, we go through a painstaking process of putting together a list of nominees that are based on quantitative parameters. The IBLA jury then vets each nominee, and over the years, the jury meetings have seen some spirited debate, passionate discussion, disagreement, but never any dissent. All our jury deliberations and all the winners have been chosen unanimously. I'm so very grateful to our jury members for spending almost half a day with us to come up with a list of outstanding winners that make us proud as a nation and a society. So, ladies and gentlemen, please allow me a moment to thank our jury, and many of them are here with us tonight. The chairman, Kumar Mangalam Birla, could not join us this evening. He had a family bereavement. Mr. Uday Kotak has been the former member of the IBLA jury. Mr. Kotak, thank you so much. If you can stand up, sir. So, Zareen Daruwala, again, someone who's been on the jury for many, many years. Zareen, thank you so much. Sanjeev Mehta, Dinesh Khara, TV Narendran, thank you so much for joining us here this evening. Adar Poonawala, Rajiv Memani, they're right there in the corner table. Gentlemen, a big round of applause to you as well. And Prabha Narasimhan, thank you so much for your support and for joining us on the India Business Leader Awards jury. The leaders we honor today, ladies and gentlemen, reflect the diversity and the dynamism of India today. They're different in many obvious ways, but what holds them together is the unwavering belief in creating and adding value, building institutions and leaving behind a legacy that truly embodies the spirit of enterprise and resilience. So thank you to each one of you for inspiring us with your confidence, your courage, your conviction, and your compassion. As the philosopher Socrates said, the secret of change is to focus all of your energy not on fighting the old, but on building the new. So ladies and gentlemen, another big round of applause for the India Business Leader Awards Change Makers. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, once again for joining us here this evening. We hope that you have a fabulous time here at IBLA today. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you, Shireen. Your words have set the tone for the evening and have left us all inspired and excited for what's to come. A quick reminder for our audience, the hashtag for tonight's event is hashtag CNBC-TV18 IBLA. So I request you all to kindly use the hashtag to post your comments across social media through the evening, and don't forget to tag CNBC-TV18 News.
Okay, it's now time to begin with the first set of awards. So to present the awards, I would like to invite on stage the Deputy Chief Minister of Maharashtra, Shri Devendra Fadnavis, Prabha Narasimhan, who's the MD and CEO of Colgate-Palmolive, and Mr. V. Vaidyanathan, who's the MD and CEO of IDFC First Bank.
Ladies and gentlemen, a huge round of applause for our presenters here.
And I'm deeply apologetic. In the fluster of things, I forgot to also say that V. Vaidyanathan has been an outstanding member of our jury this year. So thank you very much.
All right. Our first award category recognizes the most successful, impactful, and memorable branding campaigns. Now, these campaigns capture our attention, stir our emotions, and leave an indelible impression on us. They not only drive business results, but also transform the way we perceive brands. Our first award category for the evening is Brand Campaign of the Year, and let's take a look at the nominees.
In the category Brand Campaign of the Year, the nominees are Whisper, Dove, Cadbury Celebrations, Born Vita, and JSW Paints.
And the winner is...
When a beauty brand looks to break gender stereotypes, then expected conventions can turn into unexpected confidence.
And that's really what our brand Dove is taking on and saying we need to, as society, stop this beauty test.
अपने बाल straight करा लेना, भाई को noodles नहीं पसंद.
On the back of its hugely successful Stop the Beauty Test campaign aimed at prospective brides, on Daughter's Day of 2022, Dove launched its evocative sequel aimed at adolescent girls and their parents.
Breaking the stereotype of just physical beauty, I think then you're making a real change in the world.
Based on a study that showed 80% of Indian schoolgirls have faced unjust beauty standards. The campaign immediately struck an emotional chord with the viewers. Through its self-esteem project, Dove now intends to build on the positive impact its flagship ad had created.
It's a campaign where we're actually working, and we intend to reach 6 million women by 2024.
One small step to challenge society's accepted definitions.
We can start with each of us taking the pledge to stop the beauty test.
Is now a giant leap to safeguarding the confidence of our adolescent girl children. For empowering teenage girls and for redefining the idea of beauty, CNBC-TV18 India Business Leader Awards proudly presents the Brand Campaign of the Year Award to Dove's Stop the Beauty Test.
Many congratulations to HUL for their Dove campaign that struck a chord with millions of people. May I now call upon Harman Dhillon, the Vice President, Skincare Color Cosmetics, Dove Master Brand HUL, to receive this award.
entire team at Dove for putting that very powerful and impactful campaign together. What next?
So thank you, Shireen. It's a pleasure to be here. And at Unilever, we believe that brands with purpose grow and companies with purpose last. So what next is we are committed to stopping the beauty test in this country and continuing to reduce anxiety for young girls and women. So watch out for more in a couple of months. Thank you.
Well, we look forward to that. Congratulations once again, and thank you so much for joining us here this evening.
Congratulations once again. Well, the next award for the evening, ladies and gentlemen, is the Young Turk Startup of the Year. So let's take a look at the nominees.
In the category Young Turks Startup of the Year, the nominees are Zetwork, Mensa Brands, Blue Smart Mobility, Skyroot, Pool.
All right, let's find out the winner of this year's Young Turk Startup of the Year award.
This is the story of an audacious invention. Skyroot Aerospace is the first private company in South Asia to successfully launch a privately built rocket into space.
Building a rocket in private in a startup in this country. Yeah, this is a bold decision that you have taken.
Made in India for the world's benefit, Skyroot is pioneering open space for all by building affordable, reliable and on-demand space launch vehicles.
We at Skyroot are building advanced rockets which can be assembled within a day and launch satellites to space.
There are basically two big USPs for us. One is innovation, the other is the cost.
For this ambitious startup, the sky is clearly not the limit. Outer space है.
ये भारत में प्राइवेट स्पेस सेक्टर के लिए एक नए युग के उदय का प्रतीक है. ये देश में आत्मविश्वास से भरे एक नए युग का आरंभ है.
For making outer space accessible to all, and for creating history by launching India's first privately built space rocket, CNBC-TV18 India Business Leader Awards proudly presents Young Turk Startup of the Year Award to Skyroot.
Okay, keep those claps coming. A big round of applause for Skyroot, that's on a mission of opening space for all by offering affordable and reliable space flights. Let's welcome Pawan and Bharat from Skyroot on stage. Congratulations once again, gentlemen.
Two of you, and congratulations to the small team that I know that the two of you lead. Ladies and gentlemen, they make rocket science look easy. It's not, but they've made it look easy. And I remember at the time when they've launched the rocket, everyone was talking about how you're India's answer to Elon Musk. And I did an interview with the two of them, and they said, no, we don't wish to be Elon Musk. What do you want to be?
See, we truly want to open space for all, so that probably, all of you would have a holiday in space in future, and probably every kid in the world launches a satellite before they graduate from their college. And, in fact, it just takes 10 minutes to reach space by a rocket. So space is very close. So we want to open space for all. Thank you.
10 minutes to get to space. So what next now? What is the aspiration that you're working on at this point?
Our next immediate milestone is to our upcoming launch attempt to orbit, which will be targeting by the end of this year. So I request everyone to wish us all the best for our launch attempt to orbit this year. Thank you.
Yes, wishing the two of you and Skyroot the very best of luck. Thank you so much for joining us here, and thank you very much for winning this very coveted award. Thank you so much.
Congratulations, team, and surely we all are looking forward to spending our holidays in this space, so all the very best for that. Continuing with our spotlight on the young and promising entrepreneurs of India, our next award tonight is Young Turk of the Year, and here's a look at the nominees.
In the category Young Turk of the Year, the nominees are Aether, Off Business, Razorpay, Express Bees, and porter.
And the Young Turk of the Year is...
In 6 short years, one startup has disrupted several legacy industries.
When SME thinks about off business, they'll think that all their needs can be met by off business.
This is the remarkable story of off business, one of India's most scalable, profitable and engaged B2B enterprises.
India's Unicorn Club will now have a husband-wife duo of Ruchi Kalra and Ashish Mohapatra.
Many of our SMEs actually are located in far-flung industrial clusters, etc. So reaching out to them, finding a tech-led way in which we are doing acquisition is something that actually brings at least a lot of power on our platform.
From finding raw materials to now funding their procurement, off business and its verticals are growing from strength to strength.
B2B marketplace Off Business, the lending arm Oxyzo has raised a record $200 million in a Series A funding round, valuing the firm at $1 billion.
We largely serve the small and medium businesses in this country who've been ignored in the ecosystem of, call it, lenders, investors, their employees.
And the results are showing. Today, Off Business is one of only 5 Indian startups which boasts of 2 unicorns in their stable, for using technology to transform the way raw materials are sourced and for becoming a leader in India's SME finance. CNBC-TV18 India Business Leader Awards proudly presents the Young Turk of the Year Award to Off Business.
Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for the winner of Off Business. The winner, that is Off Business. And to receive the award, please invite on stage Avinash Pandey, who's the Vice President of Business. Can we have Avinash Pandey on stage?
Avinash, if you're here, I thought we did see you earlier this evening. Okay, maybe he stepped out of the room, but we'll get back to him. Mr.
Okay.
Patnavis, I will take
Congratulations
that
to the
behalf
entire team.
from you.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, moving on. Thank you, Shri Devendra Fadnavis, Prabha Narasimhan, and... Okay, you're going to hold them back.
I'm not going to let him go. Thank you very much, Mr. Fadnavis. As I pointed out, you ended up being the newsmaker here this evening. I wanted to get your thoughts on what you make of the Supreme Court judgment that came in today.
I thought at least Business TV will not ask me this. But first of all, congratulations for this incredible journey of 18 years. And I think this has been a phenomenal journey for you. And recognizing all the business leaders of India is, I think, a great thing to do. Having said that, about the Supreme Court's judgment, I think we were quite confident and we feel vindicated after this judgment. And we are happy not just because we retained the power, but we are happy that we will be the part of, the dream of our Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji to make India a 5 trillion economy, because we aspire to contribute 1 trillion from Maharashtra in this 5 trillion dream. And I think with today's vindication, we will work hard towards that goal.
Okay. You're going to work hard towards that goal with Mr. Shinde?
100% with Mr. Shinde. Please have no doubt. This government will complete its tenure. The leader will be Mr. Eknath Shinde. He will be the Chief Minister and will go to the election under his leadership, will win the election again, will come back to the power.
Mr. Fadnavis, you talked about the milestones that you're hoping to achieve, and you talked about that goal that you've set in terms of what you hope to generate. In terms of immediate priorities now, and Mumbai currently, in terms of infrastructure, a lot of development is taking place. If you can give us timelines on when this audience, when Mumbaikars should expect all of this to be operational.
I think it is now time to deliver. So let me tell you, the Trans-Harbour Link, which you see, which is a 22-kilometer sea bridge, by end of this year, mostly you will be traveling on that road. By the end of this year, you will be traveling on the coastal road, at least a part of the coastal road. By early next year, you will be traveling in the 40 kilometers underground metro, that is Metro 3. By, at least mid of the next year, you will be landing on the new airport, the new Mumbai airport. So I think all the projects are absolutely on the time schedule, and you'll see many more such projects, because we are starting some new projects in the infrastructure in this MMR region. And I think perhaps the investment which we could do in this MMR region is absolutely phenomenal. It's around 3 lakh crores, and we are expecting to do more. So there are more projects which will be announced in days to come.
Can you give us a sneak peek on what those announcements are likely to be? At least one of them, sir.
No, I think the multimodal corridor is one, it will be from Virar to Alibag. And this multimodal corridor will generate, value of more than 6 lakh crore. So it will be something which will absolutely be a new area for development. And after the new airport and this Trans-Harbour Link, the entire area of New Mumbai and Panvel, that will be developed as third Mumbai. That will be the third Mumbai. And, that is an area where 65% of our data center capacity, the data center capacity of India, 65% capacity is developed in that area. So that is, the next Mumbai.
Mr. Fadnavis, thank you very, very much for taking the questions on the big development of the day, but also laying out a roadmap of what we can expect in terms of infrastructure and development that you intend to focus on. Thank you very much for joining us here this evening. Thank you very much, Mr. Vaidyanathan and Prabha Narasimhan, for joining us here this evening as well.
Thank you, Shri Devendra Fadnavis, P. Vaidyanathan and Padma Narasimhan. And I request Shireen to kindly stay back for the next set of awards. May I now request Honourable Minister Shri Hardeep Singh Puri, Minister for Housing and Urban Affairs and Minister for Petroleum and Natural Gas, Government of India, to grace his presence on stage. Mr. Puri has always been vocal about issues related to urban development, foreign policy and international relations, and he's also a prolific writer. Ladies and gentlemen, a huge round of applause for Mr. Hardeep Puri.
Ladies and gentlemen, before we continue with this evening's proceedings, we would like to take a moment to remember and pay a tribute to those who have left us in the past year. It's time to honor the leaders who made significant contributions to their fields and left a lasting impact on all of our lives. They may be gone, but their legacy lives on in the memories that they have left behind. As we honor them tonight, let us remember their accomplishments and their spirits. Let us pay tribute to the legends.
Last year, India lost some of her tallest business leaders. A transcontinental businessman who viewed himself as a global citizen. An industrialist who is widely credited for bringing the global car brand Toyota to Indian soil. And a chartered accountant who became the big bull for his undying belief in India's immense economic potential. Cyrus Mistry, who had been the managing director of Shapoorji Pallonji Company and was only the 6th chairman of Tata Sons. A man who constantly shied away from the public. Vikram Kirloskar was instrumental in driving growth and innovation in the Indian automotive industry. Under his leadership, Toyota Kirloskar Motor has emerged as a leading player in the Indian market with a strong focus on quality and sustainability.
I think we work even harder on this car, on quality, reliability. We want to make it a really top-class car which customers will love.
By investing in multiple companies, including Akasa Air, over his 4-decade-long career, Rakesh Jhunjhunwala transformed a capital investment of 5,000 rupees into more than $5 billion.
I told you, I'm not afraid to make a mistake. Only I make mistakes which I can afford, so I can live to make another.
For their incredible contribution to India's economy and the immeasurable legacies they left behind. CNBC-TV18 India Business Leader Awards honors Cyrus Mistry, Vikram Kirloskar and Rakesh Jhunjhunwala.
To accept the award on behalf of late Cyrus Mistry, I'd like to invite his wife Rohika Mistry on stage.
Thank you very much. We appreciate you being here. I know that this is not an easy time and never an easy moment, but let me leave the microphone to you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. On behalf of our family, I would like to thank CNBC-TV18 and the esteemed jury for honoring Cyrus with this. As most of you know, Cyrus chose to stay away from the limelight, preferring to have his actions and his work speak on his behalf. Whilst his journey was tragically cut short, his life inspired many. We will work hard to carry this forward. Once again, I thank you for this honor.
Thank you very, very much, Mrs. Mistry. Thank you so much for joining us here this evening. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Mistry, for being here today. On behalf of late Rakesh Jhunjhunwala, please welcome on stage his wife, Rekha Jhunjhunwala.
You know, I spoke with Mr. Jhunjhunwala. He called me on a Sunday evening and he said, I want to do an interview. And I said, okay, sure. You know, it was always like that with him. And we did an interview on Monday afternoon, and a couple of days later, he passed. And that was the last interview that he did. And that one we did remotely, but the many interviews that I did with him at their home, and he would always say, you know, Baki sab kuch theek hai, but Rekha is the boss. So, Rekha ji, thank you so much for joining us here this evening. And I know again that this is a moment bitter and sweet for you. Would you like to say something?
Thank you so much.
Thank you very, very much. Ladies and gentlemen, Rekha Jhunjhunwala, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for joining us here tonight. On behalf of late Vikram Kirloskar, I would like to invite on stage SP Mohapatra, Vice Chairperson's Office, Toyota Kirloskar Motor Private Limited.
Thank you very much for joining us here this evening. Would you like to say a few words?
First of all, thank you very much to CNBC-TV18 for recognizing the great contribution of Shri Vikram Kirloskar ji. Beyond an iconic and inspirational leader of times, he has been a perfect example of simplicity, value systems, and doyen of manufacturing industry, and a master of innovation and creativity. And beyond that, he touched the lives of several millions of people. And we cannot forget his good work. We feel that still he is with us. He's always with us. And we will do our best to take his legacy to greater heights. Thank you so much, CNBC. Special thanks from Mr. Oshimura, Managing Director of Toyota, Mrs. Manasi Kirloskar, Vice Chairman, and Geetanjali ji, Chairman of Kirloskar Systems. Thank you so much.
Thank you very, very much, sir. Thank you so much for being here with us this evening.
Today, we would also like to honor and remember Rajiv Luthra, who passed away last night. Mr. Luthra was on the board of the directors of Network 18, and he will be remembered as a towering figure in the Indian legal landscape, renowned for his unparalleled expertise, visionary leadership, and unwavering commitment to excellence. As the founder of L&L Partners, Rajiv Luthra played a pivotal role in shaping the course of the Indian legal system and has set the gold standard for legal practice in the country.
It is our absolute pleasure to remember and honor these icons.
I'd now like to request Mr. Puri and Shireen to stay back on stage for an insightful conversation. Shireen, take it away.
Thank you very much, Sonia. Mr. Puri, we're just going to take a moment to get the chairs out, sir. We have, of course, a packed audience here waiting to hear from you. Please take a seat, sir. Yes, absolutely. That will be fine. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is what we traditionally do here at the India Business Leader Awards. We always start a conversation with our chief guest. And Mr. Puri, once again, thank you very, very much for being here this evening. And then, of course, we engage and invite opinion from our India Business Leader Awards nominees, winners, and, of course, our jury. Mr. Puri, I'm going to kick things off. Yesterday we heard Mr. Jaishankar at Mr. Amitabh Kant's book launch talking about the fact that foreign policy is going to more and more dictate the economic blueprint, the economic roadmap, the economic aspiration, and the economic priorities of nations, and more so in the context that we are in today. I want you to put on your former diplomat's hat as well, and take us through what you believe are going to be the implications of how closely interwoven foreign policy and economic policy is likely to be going forward.
I'm happy to do that. I will choose my words carefully because I don't want to intrude into my friend Dr. Jaishankar's turf. I was not present at the book launch. I had the privilege of Amitabh presenting me a copy before that. I leafed through it, even at the risk of being subjective. I think it's a seminal contribution to providing an overview of India's development story, not just in the past 9 years of the Modi government, but with a longer perspective. Let me now turn around to what you are saying. Let me state this in terms of some small but evident bullet points. One is that our economy today, which is around $3.8 trillion, 50% of our GDP comes from the external sector, which means the value of goods imported and exported, it means the remittances and so on.
Yeah.
Therefore, for anyone to suggest that foreign policy and our overall economic story are not interrelated would be, I think, venturing into what I would call something which is unimaginable. So there is a very strong relationship. But I think another point which comes through, and as I said, I've not fully read Amitabh's book, it is that today there are some things we can do. We are in charge of domestic processes. Mm-hmm. We are fortunate that we have a political leader who has a grassroots level understanding. He's come after spending 12 years as chief minister of a large state, and who also has a very clear vision on where he wants to take India. 2047, Viksit Desh, getting rid of colonial baggage, etc. But the external processes, and I don't mean just the economic interaction, but let's say by way of an example, the events that started on 24th February 2022, Russia-Ukraine, the turbulence it created, the kind of disruptions that were produced are there. Now you have one of two ways of reacting to that. One is you take ideological positions and you say you will not do this, you will not do that. On the other, you have a pragmatic approach where, forgive me if I come back to the energy sector, because that's one of the sectors I'm more intimately involved with. You need to ensure availability of energy. You need to ensure affordability of energy and sustainability, the trilemmas. So how did we handle it? Very different from the way the European economies handled it, very different from how the others handled it. Shireen, India's imports of crude from the Russian Federation when the financial year ended 31st March 2022 was 0.2%. Today, I don't have the latest figures, it could be as large as 30% of our imports coming from there. But it's not the only change that has taken place. There are other changes. I'm importing, I means the country is importing $20 billion of energy from the United States. We used to import crude from 27 countries a few years ago. We are now importing from 39 countries. So, if you can, with the benefit of wise, politically stable and strong leadership, convert a challenge like that into an opportunity, then you rise. And that's precisely what we are witnessing today. And I think the Atmanirbharta part, the fact that you have to come to terms, I think Mr. Dr. Jayashankar said something about a rising China, a China fix. I saw the reports. Look, I spent 39 years in that profession. And during those 39 years, I always said, and I always felt, that if at home you were, it doesn't mean the GDP, what you were, where you were. You know, exactly 50 years ago to this date, I got my first job in the company that received the first award. And I look back at those 50 years, because then they were not as far-sighted. Mainlines 1 used to be detergents, you know. They were a little far-sighted. They started introducing fast foods. Didn't work that well. So today when I saw that campaign, I said, see how it has evolved. Generations after me rose to become chairman of Unilever and so on. Today, India, if you are an Indian representing India, or if you are an Indian businessman dealing with the Europeans, dealing with anyone in the world, it evokes admiration and respect. Because you've not only arrived on the situation as the 5th largest economy, but I believe you're slowly but surely, within a few months, I think by 2025 will be a $5 trillion economy. And you are moving up from being the 3rd largest economy in the world, and you'll have a lot of space there. And that is where foreign policy is determined by hard economic development policy, and foreign policy in turn provides a guiding framework. And that's, I think, what my friend Jayashankar was saying yesterday.
Yes, he was. But I want to pick up on what you mentioned, and you brought up the Russia-Ukraine war and the approach that India took, especially when it comes to importing or continuing to import crude from Russia. You said it's gone from 0.2% to almost 30%. Estimates suggest that it could perhaps be higher as well. One understands the need to do that, given the fact that we are largely dependent on imports and at a price that makes sense for us. Why not? But do you believe that that opens up challenges, given the fact that Russia finds itself increasingly more and more isolated? Will your friends have the patience in future? They understand it now, but will they have the patience in future, especially if they see this trajectory moving higher and higher?
I wouldn't worry too much about that. I spent many happy, I mean professionally useful years as far as I'm concerned in New York. I had the privilege of presiding over the UN Security Council. I was, in fact, India was presiding over the Security Council when the wars took place in Libya and Syria. That was the use of force also. So let's not turn around and say that this is the first time force has been used from the outside to change regimes. I didn't justify it then. India's position then was absolutely clear that give diplomacy a chance, use the margin of persuasion, bring the warring factions to the negotiating table. That continues to be our stand today. But the situation is that the multilateral system in the United Nations, or the multilateral system anchored in the United Nations, is a broken system. Today, countries will fend for themselves. I don't think there's any popularity contest going out on there as to who has more admirers. I think the only contest you need to win is that if you're a democratically elected government, you will be answerable to your consumer, to your taxpayer. And today, in spite of all that has happened, all the cutbacks in production, I was looking at the benchmark figures today. I think one of them is at 72 and the other is at 76. This in spite of the cut in 1.6 million barrels of production in a day. By the way, for those of your friends, our friends here who don't know, the world consumes something like 100 million barrels a day. India consumes about 5 million barrels a day. We don't have any ideological hang-ups on whether we import 1 million from X, Y, or Z. Our traditional suppliers have been UAE, Saudi Arabia, Iraq, Kuwait, and now Russia. And Guyana is coming on board, others, and I keep saying to my Western interlocutors, because they seem to be getting trapped in some kind of a moral halo of their own making, saying that, you know, the world will move on, the world needs to get energy. And by the way, if India didn't buy that 30% of our requirement from the Russians, if we had to buy it from the Saudis and the UAE, and Russian oil was not on the market, you know what the price of oil today would be? So instead of one large European economy which is facing recession, it would have been in deep recession today. And, you know, large countries, you know, you can't say you're a former diplomat, either you are one or you're not. But, you know, the largest economy in the world, which is what, $24 trillion, I always look at Amitabh, he's always got better figures than me. They are looking at what is called a government spending crisis, which they have, because they have a debt of something like $33 trillion, which is more than a year and 1/4 of their GDP. Now, everybody's got problems, but if you have a democracy as vibrant and as mature as ours, you are able to resolve those things internally. I'm not saying that our narrative is an easy one. I mean, you were just trying to trip the Deputy Chief Minister of Maharashtra on something. But that's the beauty. We have a press which trolls us for the wrong things. We have a judiciary which prides itself in its independence. And the judgments they give are cited by the apex courts all over the world. So, and we have a political class which is learning how to deal with these, thanks to Mr. Modi.
Well, you know, I'm going to get some questions in, and I know that Mr. Kotak is always ready. Sir, you've got the microphone right there. You know, go ahead with your comment as well as your question to Mr. Puri on this being the unique opportunity. It's answer. It'll come on. Yeah.
Welcome to Mumbai. I know you spent some time in Mumbai earlier. As you look at the economics and politics, one of the regions which has benefited significantly after COVID and particularly after Russia-Ukraine is the Middle East.
Is the?
Middle East. And India has brilliantly built its relationship politically and economically with UAE, Saudi Arabia, and many other parts of the Middle East. Middle East itself is changing. Israel, UAE, friendship, or even Iran now talking to Saudi Arabia and getting things better. It's becoming the new power. How do you see, from an economic point of view, they're becoming much larger investors into India as well. How do you see India, Middle East, energy, politics, and of course, investments from them into India?
Well, trust Mr. Uday Kotak to draw attention to what I believe, not just because you've asked this question, but I genuinely believe that what is happening in the Middle East in terms of overall geopolitics is something truly fascinating. You mentioned the big things. Let me start with the small things. You know, when the civil war in Syria took place, you know, and the growth or the birth and the growth of ISIS took place, Iraq, Syria, you know, the Shia crescent, it would be stretching from Iran, Iraq parts, and Syria. You remember the then present president of Syria was expelled from the their regional organization. He's been admitted back. Could you have imagined that the Shia bastion Iran would be speaking to the Saudis, or for that matter, some of the other fundamental changes that you are referring to are taking place? There are two separate processes there. One is India's capacity to understand and deal with that. Forgive me, but I think that started much before these changes happened. I think the personal chemistry that Prime Minister Modi has established with almost all these leaders was a process which started, which predates these changes. But some of the other changes are that if the leading power, now I have to be very careful in my words, if the leading political, military dispensation, the largest economy, vacates space, I'm saying, let's say Afghanistan, or for that matter somewhere else, and a China, which is, I said, what, 12, 13, 14 trillion dollars economy moves in, there are economic impacts of that. But India, I believe, and this is my short answer, forgive my long-winded preambular explanation, but I think India is uniquely positioned, both in terms of its bilateral relations, both in terms of its relations with UAE, Saudi Arabia, even Iran. Couple of things have to give. The importance of the Middle East is not just energy. They are also now their sovereign funds, their ability to influence other things, their integration into the evolving and changing, evolving, but it's not just evolving slowly, very fast changing global situation. I think India, I just saw the other day, our national security advisor was in there with the security advisors of two other countries. Now, these things didn't happen earlier. Again, that's a tribute to the dynamic and far-sighted nature of our foreign and security policy.
Yeah, we've got Mr. Kant here, and as I pointed out, he launched his book last evening in Delhi, and Mr. Puri was talking about how he has his pulse on the numbers. Mr. Kant, I think what everyone in this room is curious to know, and we'd like to get your opinion on that as well, is this really the breakout moment now as far as India's manufacturing aspiration is concerned? I know that you believe that to be the case, that to be true, but to ensure that it is in fact a reality, what do you believe needs to happen?
Shireen, very simple, that we have to become the most productively efficient country in the world. We've given ourselves the production-linked incentive scheme, which has accelerated the pace of manufacturing. But we need to become very easy, we need to become very simple, which is what the government is working towards. We need to do away with a lot of laws, rules, regulation. Just let the private sector fly. That's very important. And that's what increasingly the government is doing through structural reforms of GST, IBC, making things easier, simpler, bringing in Gati Shakti, pushing the pace of infrastructure. That is what the government is doing.
Let the private sector fly.
I am totally in agreement with Amitav. Today you are celebrating in one category the titans, the guys who have lifetime achievement, who personify excellence and the very finest. If you are a 3.8 or a $4 trillion economy and you're going on to be a $5 trillion economy, I'm very clear that the wealth generation which comes from the private sector needs not only to be encouraged, but you need to devise ecosystems, and we are getting there. We are tweaking systems, and I think this is the most receptive government. If you have a good idea, let us know. We get there. Sometimes the interactive process between the suggestion and the response is not what one side would have hoped. Yeah. But my God, I see the changes which have taken place, and Amitav mentioned only some of them. Look, the proof of the pudding, I think, comes as the expression goes, when you find youngsters taking advantage of the opportunities that are arising. Look, I come from a state where you're seeing a younger generation move outwards. I go there, including recently when I was there 3 days ago, and I tell them But there's a reverse thing taking place. A lot of our professionals, doctors who went to the US and Canada are coming now and applying back because looking 5 years ahead or 10 years ahead, they see this is where the opportunity is. I mean, what you did in COVID, 224 million, 224, what is it? I'm losing my figures. A crore vaccines manufactured. I see the face of Indian vaccine, therefore I suddenly. Manufactured and freely distributed. We came from zero. I was civil aviation minister during those 2 years of the pandemic. We flew in 1,500 tons of medical supplies. We didn't even have the basics. What do we call them? The PPE kits and oxygen. We distributed 942 tons internally within the country. Today, you are not amongst 193 countries. I think it was 63 or 64. So commercial arrangements with the Serum Institute, whatever. But today, India, healthcare system thrive. But not only that, look at the airlines. I mean, look today.
That's a touchy subject currently, sir, in this environment. You're talking about airlines, but we've just got a situation where another one has approached the NCLT. We've got a temporary reprieve.
Look. There is a saying, I shouldn't repeat it here, that if you're a billionaire and you don't know what to do with your money, buy an airline, you'll probably become a millionaire. But no, but seriously, Air India is a case in point. The manner in which the privatization or disinvestment of Air India took place, I was told, and I have a collaborator here, sitting here, I was told that the effort had been made on 2 earlier occasions and you would never be able to sell it because somebody in our system thought you should retain 24% or 25%. Yes. So I used to ask them, you took over a perfectly healthy airline, made a royal mess of it in 50 years, and now you want to retain that control. Why would anybody put their money in and buy it? Anyway, we won our point. This is one of the most successful operations. Even the second bidder price was 15% above the reserve price. And the rest is history. Today, Air India has ordered, 500 or so planes with an option on another 400. Yeah. The heads of state of the United States and France write letters of appreciation to our Prime Minister. Thank you for creating so many thousands or jobs in there. US. And that's not the only airline. There is another airline, okay, large market share. I don't mind naming them, Indigo. They've ordered another 400-500 planes. So when I was Civil Aviation Secretary, there was this regular bantering between my secretary and me. So I used to start by saying, how many planes do you have? Like a little kid, He said, 760. I said, how many do you want? 1,200. I said, what are you talking about? You'll get 2,000 plus. I'm telling you that 2,000 figure. India's civil aviation is booming. Our airports are full. Our automobile manufacturing, I don't know, I saw a statement by Gadkari ji the other day. He said in 3-4 years, we'll be the largest automobile manufacturer in the world. EVs, I mean, you haven't come to green energy. I'm ready to talk on that. India is on the move. And you are honoring people who have made that possible.
No, absolutely. You're very right in pointing that out. And many of those movers and shakers are present here in this room. But, you talked about the transition, the green transition. And I think one of the opportunities as well as challenges that's held up in the Indian context, and Ridham Desai is here, he's done a whole report on that, where decarbonization is being held up as an opportunity and a current challenge as well. Let me end by asking you on that front, Mr. Puri, in terms of the climate transition and the energy roadmap, the milestones, the next set of milestones that you believe India will achieve.
Let me, look, the time is short and again, I don't want to tread on anybody else's turf, the environment minister or anybody. Let me tell you, the energy transition insofar as the hard facts are concerned. When Mr. Modi assumed responsibility, our biofuel blending, that is ethanol, was 1.4%. We had a target of 10% blending by November 2022. We achieved it 5 months before time. We have a target of 20% ethanol blending, biofuel blending by 2030. We are going to do it by 2025. I don't mind saying here we'll do it even before 2025. We have E20 blended fuel already in 100 bunks in this thing. Compressed biogas, absolutely moving very fast. We have a target of 5,000 SATAT plants. We have 42. I already have arrangements in place for another 130 or so. We are moving. Green hydrogen, and that's the real story. You know, anyone who's a prominent manufacturer of electrolyzers in the world is tied up here. And green hydrogen lends itself to success if the demand, the consumption, and the production points are in close proximity. That's happening in India. And I'll give you one company alone. I don't want to be advertising them, but I think one of the winners there was a support from them also, Space Forest. I signed an MOU with my Singaporean counterpart that they are setting up a new electricity plant with GE, and the green ammonia for that will go from India. Submission 1. Submission 2, there is a German company called Unipar, I think. I always look at so that I don't mix up names, problem of growing old. So they are going to buy the green ammonia from India. So green hydrogen, I believe, not only is, but slowly people will realize. What do you need for green hydrogen? As I said, if you've got the consumption demand, you can have the capacity to produce, and you have electrolyzers. We've incentivized it. I think under the PLI scheme, we gave, 19,700 crores to start with by way of seed money. So I said, this is the green transition. I mean, I could go on, but I know you have awards to hand out.
Yeah, and I'm mindful of your time, sir. We could have continued this conversation for longer, but I'm mindful of your time. So let me end by asking you, what is the message that you want to send out to the private sector? You want the private sector to flourish. You want the private sector to fly. What is your ask of them?
No, which is better, flourish or fly? She said you wanted flourish or fly. No, look, I'm a strong supporter of the private sector, which is not to say that the government need not or should not provide support to people during a pandemic, feeding them. And also, this is a government that realizes that while subsidies have to be given, targeted subsidies, but there has to be digressivity. You don't give a subsidy and then entrench it. You take it away and make it more productive. Look, not only support to the private sector, increasing productivity, you've got all the demographic advantages. You have, what about 1.2 billion people under the age of 29 or something? Those are the figures I had. And you have something that no country in the world has. You give them the proper education and skills, and you have two things happen. During Mr. Modi's time, the per capita income has doubled from 2014 to 9. But when it becomes a $5 and a $10 trillion economy, the per capita income will go up 6 times. When it goes up 6 times, the need for passenger cars, the need for urban transport, the need for civil aviation connectivity, all goes into those multipliers.
Yeah.
So my message to the younger ones are, look, guys, you come at the right time. You will determine not only the shape of this country, but through this country, the world. I mean, guys like me who came in, let's say, when I was born, I was looking at the urban population, I was looking at the per capita income. From 1700 before the colonial advent, we used to contribute 25% of our GDP to the global economy. This is Angus Maddison, a Cambridge historian. Thanks to this glorious colonial interaction we have, we like to say nice things about them. Those of us who speak the English language are, appreciative of what they've done. But the fact is they took us down from 25% GDP to about 2-3%. Now we are reclaiming that. And by the way, I think the move from the 6th largest economy in the world to the 5th was the sweetest. When you become the 3rd, we won't enjoy it that much.
Hardeep Puri, many thanks for joining us here at the India Business Leader Awards. Thank you very much for sharing your thoughts and your views on what the road ahead looks like. I'm going to hand it back to my colleagues Shruti and Sonia, and then we will get back to the awards. Thank you very much for this. You're going to have, you can sit for a little bit longer while we, till the chairs go.
A big thank you to our Honorable Minister Hardeep Puri for taking out time
to be with us here this evening. And thank you, Shireen. Of course, you guys are waiting back for a bit. But may I now call upon Shri Amitabh Kant, the G20 Sherpa and former Niti Aayog, to join us on stage. Mr. Amitabh Kant, please, can we have you here?
Ladies and gentlemen, huge round of applause for Mr. Amitabh Kant.
I also request Zareen Daruwala, the Cluster CEO, Standard Chartered Bank India, and South Asia Markets, Rajiv Memani, the Chairman and Regional MD of EVA India, and Lata Venkatesh, Executive Editor, CNBC TV18, to present the next set of awards.
Moving on to the next category for tonight, the Disruptors. Our nominees in this category are the ones who've taken risks, embraced change, and created new opportunities where others saw challenges. Let's take a look at the nominees.
In the category, the Disruptors. The nominees are Idea Forge, Ashoka University, The Postcard Hotel, and Winggreens.
And the winner is...
What started as a pastime quickly developed into a passion. Now that passion has made these inventor entrepreneurs the pioneers of a brand new domain.
Today, Idea Forge is the largest drones manufacturer in India.
Last year, Idea Forge received a massive $20 million vote of confidence from none less than the Indian Army.
Since 2010, we've been delivering these platforms to our forces, and we are able to serve all of our armed police forces, all of our armed forces as well.
With over 300,000 completed missions and an Idea Forge drone taking off every 5 minutes, Idea Forge is the undisputed market leader of India's unmanned aircraft systems market.
If we need to sustain R&D, if we need to be the drone hub of the world, we cannot do it by doing what everyone else is doing. You'll have to do it by building differentiated technology.
Now, they're busy revving their motors to take new frontiers by storm, persisting in keeping India's land and maritime borders safe and secure, and for ensuring India is at the forefront of the global drone revolution. CNBC TV18 India Business Leader Awards proudly presents the Disruptor of the Year Award to Idea Forge.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a round of applause for our disruptor, Idea Forge, that is redefining the rules and shaping the future of drones in India. Let's welcome Ankit Mehta of Idea Forge. Please give them a big round of applause.
You know, they don't just deliver pizzas. A big hand, please. Well, Ankit, this is really a proud moment. Were you dropped by your own drone today here to the function? Okay, well, most important thing, what is the most exciting thing you all have done for, say, Indian defense or any other project you want to speak about?
I mean, usually it is kind of hard to speak about what we do for defense. But I think, you know, the fact that our drones are doing duties on our borders today and are operating in some of the most challenging conditions that you can face as far as the drone is concerned, of the size that it is, I think we are quite excited to continue to serve and to continue to build technology that can keep us all safer and hopefully one day carry us all the way here as well.
Well, then I'll ask you an easy question. When is the IPO?
So I think it is common information that we have filed our DRHP. Yes. So yeah, I mean, it is currently under works.
Thanks a lot. Yes, sure, please.
You know, as someone who's studied this, Amitabh and I, you know, drones are from 2,500 grams to 25,000 kilos, okay? When do you see the larger drones coming in for commercial application, the larger ones?
So the really large ones for commercial applications, particularly what we envisage is something that can go all the way up to stratosphere, act as pseudo satellites. Those are the kind of drones that will be more amenable to commercial use, where you can offer, let's say, for example, network in an area, particularly if it is hit with a disaster or some other incident, or provide network in places where otherwise it is not possible to provide it economically with other means. However, a set of larger drones is going to do duties to carry freight, to eventually carry people as well. And I think that revolution is going to happen very soon in our country.
More strength to your elbow. Heartiest congratulations.
Going with your answer, considering that you can give network where it's difficult, won't you be able to make India's borders practically impregnable because of your network ability?
No, I think drones have that potential, particularly because they don't put people in the harm's way. And, our hope and, our endeavor always is going to be that we get a drone in the hands of everyone who can potentially use it for our benefits.
Okay, a big round of applause. Once again, congratulations to your entire team. Thank you so much for being with us here tonight.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, Team Idea Forge. Moving on, up next is a very special category. Tonight, we are pleased to present a special recognition award for social impact. It is my honor to introduce this legendary activist. She was a tireless champion for social justice and women's empowerment, and her work inspired and touched the lives of millions of people around the world. This award is a tribute to her dedication, passion, and leadership, and it is our way of saying thank you for making the world a better place. Tonight, we're delighted to honor the late IBLA Bhatt in recognition of her extraordinary contributions to social justice and women's empowerment.
She was known as the gentle revolutionary for her extraordinary work empowering women.
Poverty is never going to be removed without the participation of women in the poor families.
She was one of the pioneers in organizing cooperatives, microfinance and labor movements for women working in the unorganized sector. Hillary Clinton has publicly declared her as one of her heroes. But for hundreds of thousands of informal women workers in India, IBLA Bhatt was the god of grassroots development. A lawyer by training, IBLA Bhatt founded the Self-Employed Women's Association in 1972. Today, it boasts of over 1.2 million members in 9 different states.
I went to villages to live there, to work there. I was a lawyer. So I used my legal knowledge for their rights.
A year later, she started India's first women's bank, the Cooperative Bank of Seva. Her legacy of creating a better world for the working women of India will forever be unparalleled.
It's not the leader who brings freedom. It is the people who bring freedom.
For empowering over 1 million women through grassroots entrepreneurship, CNBC-TV18 India Business Leader Awards proudly presents the Special Recognition Award for Social Impact Icon to the late IBLA Bhatt.
Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in giving a warm round of applause and paying our tribute to this iconic winner of the Special Recognition for Social Impact Award. Kalpana Ben and Hira Ben are here to receive the award. Please put your hands together for IBLA Bhatt.
कहना है आपको?
नमस्ते, मेरा नाम कपिला बहन है। मैं आनंद जिला के रासनौल गांव से आती हूँ। मैं एक खेत मजदूर बहन हूँ और मैं 22 साल से सेवा के साथ जुड़ी हूँ। खास करके मुझे बताना है कि अभी हमारे साथ इला बहन तो नहीं है, लेकिन जो हमारे 25 लाख जो सदस्य है वो खेत मजदूर है, खड़ी में काम करते हैं, खेत में काम करते हैं। तो वो सभी 25 लाख बहनों के हृदय में जो बस गए हैं, उनके मूल्य, उनके विचारे सब हमारे अंदर है। तो अभी ऐसा नहीं लगता, लेकिन अभी हम ऐसे बोलते हैं कि सभी बहन, दर एक बहन इला बहन है।
Thank you, madam. Many congratulations. Ladies
The
and
original
gentlemen,
feminist, isn't it?
Yes. All right. The next category tonight is Outstanding Contribution to Brand India. Let's take a look at the nominees.
In the category Outstanding Contribution to Brand India, the nominees are Natu Natu, Kartiki Gonzalez, Shaunak Sen, Dilip Asbe, N. Chandrasekaran, and Sabyasachi.
Well, let's have a look at the winner.
How do you get 1.4 billion people to think differently about money? How do you change the transaction habits of an entire nation? The answer lies with one man, Dilip Asbe, MD and CEO of National Payment Corporation of India.
We believe that value of UPI transactions will be well over $1 trillion on an annual basis. About 300 million active users on a monthly basis.
From toll collections to everyday transactions, from debit cards for rural India to 24/7 interbank fund transfers, every fintech innovation of Dilip Asbe at NPCI has turned to gold. After NPCI's exponential success, the homegrown Made in India UPI is being studied for adoption as a payment ecosystem worldwide.
India's public good can be the world's public good, right? So that's the globalization of NPCI platforms. Today, if you look at UPI transactions, take on an average 3 to 6 seconds to complete every financial transaction.
For being the flag bearer of India's digital financial revolution, CNBC-TV18 India Business Leader Awards proudly presents the Outstanding Contribution to Brand India Award to Dilip Asbe.
Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Dilip Asbe of the National Payments Corporation of India. UPI has transformed this country and has put India on the world map for fintech innovation. It is an incredible success story from India. Many congratulations to Mr. Asbe and the entire NPCI team. A big round of applause to them.
This is a revolution which no one will deny. I think it's come down to brass tacks. It's come down to absolutely the grassroots. Just to say, I pay my cook and my maid also on GPay only. No money transacted. Mr. Asbe, what's the next big thing on ONDC? I think the current number is ONDC does 3 lakh in a month, whereas I think Zomato does 5 crore, if I'm not mistaken. So what's when do you get to 5 crore, or even when do you get to 1 crore?
See, to be honest, any public infrastructure takes its time. When we launched UPI in 2016, April, first 1 year, people have started to write off UPI. So in that sense, I think we'll have to give them time. I think it's one of the first systems which is working on protocol-driven approach, not the centralized approach. It's a truly decentralized system. So we have to give them time. I think in my assessment, next 2 to 3 years, we should see a good takeoff of the ONDC systems.
Well, what's the next big thing? I mean, you certainly surprised the nation, and very pleasantly, with UPI, and now looks like ONDC will be the next UPI. What's next up your sleeve?
So first of all, I don't think the one person should take the... Sir, thank you, sir. One person cannot take the credit for the efforts like UPI or what NPCI has done. So I received this on behalf of the whole UPI ecosystem, which is kind of envisioned and supported by the RBI, the government, and also the banks, fintechs. So I think it's a kind of mammoth effort as far as I look at it. The second thing is, we are looking at many things as a country. We are looking at central bank digital currency. We are also looking at the next level of innovation. SEBI has announced the secondary market investments using UPI. So we are trying to utilize the architecture for a variety of other use cases. The UPI Lite is taking off. RBI in the recent monetary policy announced the credit on UPI. So it's a full plate. While some things have been done, I still believe we have a huge growth possible. We are working with Mr. Khan's G20 team to look at the UPI global interoperability, looking at remittances, the payments, and also UPI, as I was talking in one of the videos, UPI, Prime Minister has said that the India's public good can be the world's public good. So trying to look at many things what are going to come in next few years' time.
We are wondering if you can do some magic along with, I shouldn't say former diplomat, you said, to actually de-dollarize the country, de-dollarize the world in some fashion. Anyway, it's the press speaking. But Sasbi, just one last question. You don't want Google Pay and Phone Pay to take away more than 30%. Are you seeing anyone else coming in, or does this have to get extended? Do you see banks getting together and destabilizing Google Pay, or at least grabbing a share?
See, today we are looking at many banks and many third-party app providers which were not coming up because of the COVID. We have started seeing a lot of traction. I believe about 20 new app providers have started looking at UPI. We are also looking at, the merchants have started integrating. The large merchants like Swiggy, Zomato, they're on the verge of launching the integrated inline payments. Look, it's an open market, and we have put up the market share cap, looking at there should not be any concentration risk back in UPI. At the same time, we have 10x growth possible now from where we have. So we will take the decisions in the interest of UPI and the growth of UPI. At the same time, managing the risk effectively. So you don't need to overly worried about this.
Thank you very much, Mr. Asbe.
Thank you. Congratulations, Mr. Asbe.
Congratulations.
Thank you for joining us, Mr. Khan, Ms. Daruwal, and Mr. Memani. Thank you for doing the honors. I would request Lata and Mr. Hardeep Puri to kindly remain on stage. And I would also like to call on stage Mr. Adar Poonawala, CEO, Serum Institute of India. Ladies and gentlemen, a huge round of applause for Mr. Adar Poonawala.
Well, our next award for the evening, ladies and gentlemen, is the Sports Leader of the Year Award. And the nominees are...
In the category Sports Leader of the Year, the nominees are Nikhat Zareen, Satwik Sairaj and Chirag Shetty, Neeraj Chopra, Savita Punia and Harmanpreet Kaur.
And the winner of the Sports Leader of the Year award is...
She has punched through every obstacle that stood in her path. She has fought her idols to make her way to the top. Indian women's boxing has a brand new poster girl, and her name is Nikhat Zareen.
I have become a world champion of this competition, so it feels great to win gold for my country.
2022 was a golden year for Nikhat Zareen. In May 2022, she became the 5th Indian boxer to win gold at the World Boxing Championships.
When I entered in the ring, I just entered with only one thought that Nikhat, you have to win. At any cost, you have to win.
In the same year, she won gold at the Commonwealth Games in Birmingham. From being a bronze medalist at the Asian Championship in 2019 to now being a 2-time world champion at World Women's Boxing Championship in 2023, the new queen in the flyweight category has arrived. For her fists of gold and a heart of steel, and for bringing glory to India, CNBC-TV18 India Business Leader Awards proudly presents the Sports Leader of the Year Award to world champion Nikhat Zareen.
Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for India's pride and 2-time world boxing champion Nikhat Zareen. A big round of applause for her.
deserves a standing ovation, but for me the standing ovation clearly is for Nikat. Well, Nikat, पहले मेरे को ये पूछना था, did anybody in your childhood tell you क्या लड़कों जैसी खेल खेल रही है, लड़की जैसे कोई खेल नहीं सकती क्या? Did you get such opposition?
Firstly, a very good evening to everyone. So, basically, when I started boxing, I was the first girl to start boxing in my district. And पहले तो मुझे बहुत मार पड़ी थी because लड़कों ने इतना मारा था मुझे. और मैं खुद लड़कों जैसी थी बचपन से. I never believe कि मुझे ऐसा हमेशा लगता है कि लड़के लड़कियां सेम है. So, yeah, तो स्टार्टिंग में मुझे बहुत मार पड़ी थी. इवन व्हेन आई स्टार्टेड बॉक्सिंग माय मदर वाज वरीड कि मुझे मार लग जाएगा तो मेरे से शादी कौन करेगा. देन आई रिमेम्बर वंस आई हैड माय फर्स्ट स्पारिंग सेशन विद अ गाय एंड उसने इतना मुझे मारा कि माय नोज वाज ब्लीडिंग एंड आई वेंट होम लाइक दैट. व्हेन माय मॉम सॉ मी एंड शी स्टार्टेड क्राइंग एंड शी सेड, बेटा मैंने बॉक्सिंग में तुझे इसीलिए नहीं डाला कि तेरा चेहरा खराब हो जाए. अगर तुझे कुछ हो गया तो तेरे से शादी कौन करेगा. एंड आई वाज लाइक, अरे अम्मी आप टेंशन काहे को ले रहे, नाम होगा तो दूल्हों की लाइन लग जाएगी. सो सिंस देन अभी मार लगता है तो मम्मी खुद कैजुअली बोलते, कोई नहीं बेटा आइस लगा ले ठीक हो जाएगा.
जाने की पहले यहाँ सेल्फी के लिए क्या लाइन लगेगी आपको. Well, Nikat, 2 world championships, women world championships. What's the next big goal you have?
So my ultimate dream is to win an Olympic gold for my country and
see you Paris Olympics.
Inshallah, inshallah. But currently my focus is on Asian Games. Now I have already qualified for the Asian Games. Now I'm looking forward to win medal and get qualified for Paris Olympics.
Big hand, ladies and gentlemen. I hope next year we will be inviting Nikat as the Olympian.
Not as an Olympian, Olympic medalist.
Congratulations once again, ladies and gentlemen. A huge round of applause for Nikat. Thank you, Lata, for joining us today. I would request Mr. Hardeep Puri and Mr. Adil Poonawala to kindly remain back on stage. And I would also request Shireen to kindly come back on stage and join them.
All right, our next award for the evening is indeed a special one. Now, in a country with the biggest fan following for this sport, the resilience, skill and determination of the game is changing, both on and off the field. Let's take a look at the game changer for the year.
One victory revolutionized men's cricket in India. Now, one brilliant move will revolutionize women's cricket all around the world. A new era for women's cricket has dawned, promoting inclusivity and diversity in the sport, creating a level playing field for both men and women. Established in 1928, the BCCI had humble beginnings. But the last century has seen it grow from immeasurable success to indomitable strength. In 2022, the Board of Control for Cricket in India took a gigantic leap towards gender parity and followed that up with the Women's Premier League. For ensuring India's women cricketers are here to not just stay, but play on the grandest stage of them all, and for ensuring gender parity in cricket in India. CNBC-TV18 India Business Leader Awards proudly presents Game Changer of the Year Award to the Board of Control for Cricket in India, BCCI.
Well, we have a little surprise for everyone here. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together as I welcome the pioneers of Indian women cricket, Smriti Mandhana, Harmanpreet Kaur, Mithali Raj, Jemima Rodriguez and Jhulan Goswami. Ladies and gentlemen, a huge round of applause for our nation's pride.
We can do better than this.
And may I also please invite Mr. Jay Shah, the Honorary Secretary, the Board of Control for Cricket in India. as we honor BCCI with the Game Changer of the Year award. A big round of applause for the entire team.
Keep the applauses going, ladies and gentlemen. A huge round of applause.
Congratulations to you. And yes, absolutely.
No. Thank you, Honorable Minister. I would like to thank jury and CNBC for this honor and respect. I would like to thank all these cricketers who work hard on the field. I would like to thank all the linear viewers, digital viewers, and in-stadium viewers for loving this wonderful game of cricket. Thank you once again.
Thank you very much, Mr. Shah. Yes, absolutely. Go ahead.
This award BCCI is getting for contributing to the women's cricket, so I would like to dedicate this award to these women cricketers.
Ooh, a big round of applause.
Thank you very much. And ladies and gentlemen, what a proud moment it is to see these women standing tall here. I mean, this truly deserves a bigger round of applause to see them here. But Mr. Shah, I want to ask you, it's a very significant move, the move towards gender parity. What was the thinking behind that? What made you want to get this done?
So honestly, I took over as a secretary of the board in 2019. So first, women player played their first ever ping ball test in Australia, and we nominated in Australia. And when I took over once again as a secretary of the board in 2022, there was no same match fees. So I just told my colleague that we can't allow discrimination. So entire board agrees to me, and we did pay parity for men and women. And after that, in next meeting, we launched successful WPL. So all agreed, and this is a result.
This is absolutely the result. So let me come to the pioneers of cricket for women in India. Mithali, it's so good to have you back here at India Business Leader Awards. I want to understand from each one of you, and we've spoken about this previously as well, but do you believe that today we stand at an inflection point where it is no longer something that parents will consider as a possibility for their daughters to do, but there is a dramatic, visible change that's taken place?
Well, good evening, everybody. I think, as you rightly said, it's a revolutionary step by BCCI. Past 2 years, we've seen, a lot of changes for women's cricket. Big thanks to our leader, Jai Shah sir, and the rest in BCCI who've taken the initiative. And yes, women's cricket has come a long way from where we've started, and it's more a viable sport now, a lucrative offer for a lot of young girls who look up to these girls as role models. We get to see them on television putting up the best standard of women's cricket, and I'm sure there are many girls who want to sort of walk in their path.
Well, I'm sure many girls do want to walk down that path. Julan, aapse puchna chahungi, what is the message that you would like to send out to young girls who are watching each and every one of you today on this stage?
Well, good evening, everyone. I think WPL is going to be the game changer, definitely, because I have an academy in Kolkata, and every time young girls is coming, 2017, they want to play for India, and now they are saying they want to participate in a WPL. So this is a game changer moment, and we must celebrate this moment. And thanks to BCCI, Jai sir and Arun sir and everyone. And definitely in coming years, these girls will definitely participate in the World Cup, and hopefully they're going to do well in that platform also.
We have the ODI World Cup next year in India, so I want all of you to cheer for our national side.
So, Smriti, all set now to be the game changer, so to speak?
Well, firstly, good evening, everyone, and firstly, thank you for this award. And yeah, I think the times have changed for women's cricket, and but we are the game changers. That's what people think. But I think all thanks to people who have played before us as well. I think that's a big one, because they kept women's cricket going and they kept it alive. And I think we are benefiting out of it. Definitely this generation. So we are all really thankful for the generations which have played before us. And definitely we'll try our best to be be a good role model for people, for the girls, young girls, and hopefully all the young girls start picking up bat and ball and start playing cricket and have a dream to play for India more and WPL a little less.
Well, a little bird tells me that it's not just the bat that you're picking up, Jemima. I understand that you pick up the guitar pretty often as well. And we do have a little bit of a surprise for you. Can we have the guitar coming out? And Jemima playing for women and inspiring women here. And you've got all of your colleagues to accompany you. So we've got the guitar coming right out. And Jemima, yes, we totally want them to sing and dance. Please go ahead. We'll find out soon enough. Sorry about that. This is an out-of-tune guitar, so it's not her fault. Which song? Confer.
Okay. If you all know the song, please join me.
आशाएं खिले दिल की, उम्मीदें हंसे दिल की, अब मुश्किल नहीं कुछ भी.
Ladies and gentlemen, the fabulous Jemima. Thank you so much. And I'm going to hop across to the two of you as well. Thank you so much for joining us here. What's the next milestone?
I think जैसे अभी जैमी ने बोला कि अब मुश्किल कुछ भी नहीं, बिकॉज जैसे हमें बीसीसीआई से और सबसे सपोर्ट मिल रही है. एंड ऑफ कोर्स नेक्स्ट जो हमारा टारगेट है वो वर्ल्ड कप ही है, क्योंकि जब भी हम कभी भी किसी भी टूर्नामेंट में जाते हैं वही एक मोटिव रहता है. और एवरी टाइम कमिंग टू क्लोज, स्टिल टू फार. और आई थिंक द नेक्स्ट वर्ल्ड कप, जैसे मिताली दी ने बोला, अभी इंडिया में होने वाला है. वी वांट एवरीवन टू कम एंड वॉच अस, चीयर फॉर इंडियन टीम, एंड होपफुली ये जो वर्ल्ड कप होगा हम जीतेंगे.
We will all be there. I want you to unravel some secrets of all of these wonderful ladies who are here or on stage. नहीं, बिल्कुल सच्ची बताना. सब such secrets, absolutely. Who is the one who plays the most pranks on the team?
Pranks. इनमें से तो कोई नहीं है, पूजा है.
अच्छा, she's not here. Who keeps the team together?
सभी लोग, अभी जितने भी यंगस्टर आए हैं, सब लोग इकट्ठे रहते हैं जितना ज्यादा हो सकते हैं. सब लोग ट्राई करते हैं कि एक दूसरे की कंपनी एंजॉय करें.
और मैच से पहले कोई रिचुअल है आप लोगों का?
नहीं, ऐसा कुछ नहीं है.
Nothing that any of you are superstitious about.
नहीं, ऐसा कोई किसी का होता नहीं, अपना रहता है.
मैच के बाद क्या होता है?
हम लोगों ने टीम सॉन्ग बनाया था. वो टीम सॉन्ग जब भी जीतते हैं वो गाते हैं.
पर वो हम लोग का टॉप सीक्रेट है. टीम में आना पड़ेगा आपको फिर.
So we can't partake in that, is it? We're part of your team this evening. How about it? Okay, all right. It's confidential. Ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause to Jay Shah, to the pioneers of women's cricket in India. Thank you so much for joining us here this evening. We truly appreciate your time. Thank you very, very much.
Congratulations, Mr. Shah, and all the trailblazer women in the house tonight. It's time now to present the next award for the evening, the Entertainment Leader of the Year. And the nominees are...
In the category Entertainment Leader of the Year, the nominees are Alia Bhatt, Kamal Hassan, Junior NTR, and Fahad Fazil.
And the Entertainment Leader of the Year award goes to...
What some artists achieve over a lifetime, Alia Bhatt has managed in a single year.
शक्ति, संपत्ति, सद्बुद्धि ये तीनों ही औरतें हैं। तो इन मर्दों को किस बात का गुरु?
With 3 blockbuster releases, Alia has wowed audiences and critics alike with a simple mantra for acing success.
I feel like it's really nice when you make an impact through, even if it's just 1 scene, 2 scenes, and if you can manage to make an impact, I feel that's a sign of like being really successful at what you've done.
There's just no stopping Alia, as the multifaceted actress turns entrepreneur with a personal clothing brand and some savvy business investments.
The most important thing is that there's no one way to do it. And there's no fixed way to do it.
With 5 Filmfare Awards under her belt, this superstar is already on the cusp of greatness. For her, resounding commercial and critical success in 2022.
Every day, with so much love and passion in my heart for what I'm doing. It's not just another day.
CNBC-TV18 India Business Leader Awards proudly presents Entertainment Leader of the Year Award to Alia Bhatt.
Ladies and gentlemen, please give a huge round of applause to Alia Bhatt, who continues to entertain us with her incredible performances on the silver screen. She was most recently seen in Ayan Mukherjee's Brahmastra. Many congratulations, Alia.
Alia Bhatt, congratulations. 2022, a blockbuster year for you in so many ways, so many big ticket events that have happened in your life. How do you top that in 2023?
Firstly, thank you so much for this. I feel so embarrassed with that AV, but whoever put that together, it's just extremely I feel like, oh God, I want to just hide under the table. Especially to be nominated amongst such stalwarts. I feel so honored and blessed. So thank you so much. Thank you to the jury. Thank you for this award. 2022, yes, I think, but my biggest blockbuster was my daughter. That came in the end of the year. And, I don't think I believe in topping anything. One of the things I said in this AV was I just do whatever I do on a daily basis with my work with a lot of love and stars in my eyes. And I feel very blessed and grateful that I'm living the dream, and I have the ability to go to work and not feel like it's work at all. So.
Very few people can actually say that they're living their dream. So congratulations on that. But you spoke about the biggest blockbuster of the year was the fact that you had a daughter. And many women especially have to feel this pressure, especially in the profession that you're in. If you get married, if you have children, are you going to be off shelf? Was that never a consideration for you?
No, because I also don't believe in today's day and age it's either or. I feel like it's your choice as to what you want, what you want leading your life. I most definitely will say that after having a baby, my priority has changed. My first priority will always be my baby, my family. But maybe that's something I wanted to choose for my life. But my first love has been the movies. And that's a very important part of who I am. And again, I have the fortune and I have the ability to say that, okay, I can take that break and I can go to work. Today I'm here and my husband's babysitting at home, So I have that support and I feel very grateful and proud that I can say that. But it should never be either or. And most definitely women of today should never feel pressure to ace either. I think that's what there's that pressure that you have to be a great mother, you have to be a great worker, you can't mess up, you can't fail. And I think that's extremely unfair. You just have to do your best. You just have to be good enough.
Well, you're better than good enough, and this award today is a testament to that. I'm not going to put you in a spot, but I know that I know you're a good sport, so I'm hoping that you are going to be one this evening as well. I know you believe in affirmations, in life affirmations. what is if there was a song that you sung to yourself every day, what would that be, which is sort of life-affirming for you?
I feel like this is you want me to sing a song. So I should just sing a song. Yeah, so I'll just sing a song. And I think a big blockbuster moment of last year was my song Kesariya. So I'll just sing that. रब्बा ने तुझको बनाने में कर दी है हुस्न की खाली तिजोरियां, काजल की सियाही से लिखी है तूने जाने कितनों की लव स्टोरियां, केसरिया तेरा इश्क है पिया, रंग जाऊं जो मैं हाथ लगाऊं, दिन बीते सारे तेरी फिक्र में, रहने सारी तेरी खैर मनाऊं.
Alia Bhatt, thank you so much for being an outstanding artist and for being an outstanding sport this evening. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, Alia Bhatt.
Many congratulations, Alia. Thank you, Mr. Purawala, for joining us here today. Request Mr. Hardeep Puri and Shireen to kindly remain on stage. I would also now like to invite Mr. Uday Kotak, Managing Director, Kotak Mahindra Bank, to join us on stage to present the next set of awards. Ladies and gentlemen, a huge round of applause for Mr. Uday Kotak.
And the next award category is a tribute to the lifelong hard work, commitment and unwavering dedication of leaders to their craft. The recipient of this award has not only made a lasting impact in their field, but has also inspired others to follow in their footsteps. Ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about the next category tonight, the Lifetime Achievement Award. And the winner is...
From mopeds to motorcycles, from process to perfection, Venu Srinivasan is the king of total quality management.
As a person, you have to reinvent yourself to meet the new horizon. So every 12 years almost, I've had to reinvent myself.
Under Venu Srinivasan, TVS Motors has evolved from India's second largest moped manufacturer to one of the biggest global players in two-wheelers.
Now that was just 13% of the industry exports came from TVS Motor way back in FY15. That has gone up all the way to 25.1%.
We always had a great passion for developing our own technology capacity.
Srinivasan's unwavering focus on quality has also resulted in TVS Motors manufacturing the legendary BMW motorcycles. His steadfast belief in the ability and quality of India's engineers.
I think my strength is maintaining trust with people and maintaining warmth with people.
Has also made TVS the first Indian two-wheeler company to make a motorcycle that runs only on ethanol. For catapulting Indian auto manufacturing onto the global stage, CNBC-TV18 India Business Leader Awards proudly presents the Lifetime Achievement Award to Venu Srinivasan.
Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in giving a warm round of applause to our Lifetime Achievement Award winner, Mr. Venu Srinivasan.
TV18. We just heard you saying that. Thank you so much, Mr. Puri, for doing that. We just heard you saying in that audio visual that you reinvent yourself every 12 years. I don't know whether you're in the middle of a 12-year cycle at this point in time, or you're out of one, or you're about to start one. What should we expect in terms of reinvention from Venu Srinivasan?
Well, I think I was thrown into the deep end because tragically my father died when I was 26, and I was just a project manager in the moped project, which hadn't even started production. We just had a shed ready. And initially, it was tough, but success came quite easily. And sometimes when success comes too easily, you trip and fall. And so then came the second 12 years where we had to build a quality organization which believed in total quality, which means quality of everything that you do. Then the third phase came when we broke up with Suzuki. We decided to part ways. Each of us had global ambitions, and the best thing we thought we should separate. And the final phase was really making it a global company. I think from 2010 to 2022, we have come a long way where almost 35% of our revenue comes from overseas business. And the next stage would be, as I said earlier when Parikshit asked me, was we have to go to Latin America, where we have very small footprint, a very small footprint in Southeast Asia. And ultimately, I think with Norton motorcycles and electric bicycles, go to North America and Europe as well. So that will be the next big thing, but not for me to do, but I've handed over the baton. So the next generation will have to do that.
So what is the target that you've set for Sudarshan? 35% in terms of export contribution today. Where would you like to see that over the next 5 years, especially in the context of this big Make in India moment?
I think we should never set financial targets for ourselves. I think we should set targets to be the most customer-friendly company, a company where people really, customers believe in you, believe in your products and services. And it's by winning their minds and hearts that ultimately we'll build a large business. I think to focus on building a company that the world's advanced countries like Europe and North America will look for TVS and buy it. That would really what I would like TVS to be.
Mr. Srinivasan, we would like to see many more Indian brands take global share, and I think that is going to be the next path as far as our Make in India journey is concerned. Absolutely.
I think the greatest inspiration is our Honorable Prime Minister putting Atmanirbhar right up front and make Indians believe in themselves. You've seen the young people who have done unbelievable work today, from drones to space to RuPay to... And I think that is the new India. And therefore, really we believe that India can stride on the global stage with confidence, pride and dignity.
Absolutely. And that's what I want to end with. What is your message to the Indian entrepreneur who's starting today, to the Indian SME who's trying to move up today, to the Indian entrepreneur who is trying to build scale and look outside as well? What is your message in light of the experiences that you've had, the mistakes that you've made and the course correction perhaps that you've done?
I would like to limit it to 3 points. One is self-belief. I think without self-belief, nothing can be achieved. The second is never say die. You cannot, even in the worst dark night, which seems endless, you have to keep faith and you have to persevere. And the last is believe in your people. It's people who build it. Today, if the award is given, it is given to the thousands of people who spent a lifetime in our company. It's not given to me. And therefore, believe in your people, nurture your people, carry your people with you. I would limit it to just 3 points.
Well, thank you very, very much, Mr. Venu Srinivasan. Ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause for the Lifetime Achievement of the Year. Thank you very much. Appreciate you joining us here this evening for honoring the India Business Leader Award stage.
Congratulations once again, Mr. Srinivasan, and thank you for being with us here tonight. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we will celebrate the legacy of an iconic leader and honor the contributions to industry and the India growth story. Please put your hands together for a leader whose vision, innovation and leadership have not only made him one of the wealthiest people in India, but have also earned him a reputation as a visionary and a game changer. His contribution, more importantly, to society as a philanthropist goes much beyond his business achievements, especially in the field of public education. Ladies and gentlemen, it is with great honor that this year's India Business Leader Awards Hall of Fame awardee is Mr. Azim Premji, the founder chairman of Wipro.
He is one of India's most generous philanthropists. But in the source of his generosity lies the secret of his business-savvy mind.
The concept of standing for something and being consistent on something and not compromising on something got inculcated very early in me.
In 1966, Azim Premji was compelled to become chairman of his family's business. Soon, Azim Premji turned his spotlight on the emerging IT sector.
The opportunity was there. A leader in the market had exited the country, and we were able to put an act together. We invested a lot in R&D, we invested a lot in application software, and we were an instant hit.
Over the years, Azim Premji transformed his $2 million cooking oil company into a global multi-billion-dollar IT, BPO and R&D services corporation the world knows as Wipro. But the measure of his business acumen pales before the magnitude of his philanthropy. Started in 2001, the Azim Premji Foundation emphasizes equity and quality of education. With an endowment of approximately $29 billion, it is one of the world's richest endowments. Funded primarily through 66% economic ownership of Wipro Limited. One of the most globally influential philanthropists, Azim Premji has been honored around the world.
Whatever I do, I should do it better than yesterday. I must try to improve day by day, every day.
For transforming from cooking oil to the czar of the IT industry. For innovations from soap to software services. And most of all, for the genius of his generosity. CNBC-TV18 India Business Leader Awards proudly present the Hall of Fame 2022 award to Azim Premji.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's give Mr. Azim Premji a standing ovation. Request you all to kindly stand up. Keep the applause going. It's an honor for us to have him here tonight with us.
A huge round of applause for Mr. Azim Premji.
Mr. Premji, look behind you, sir. I think the room tells the story, the respect, the love and warmth that so many Indians have for what you've done, what you've been able to achieve, and the generosity and compassion with which you've been able to share. I think that is a marvelous, a fabulous story, and it is so inspiring. And thank you so much for being here with us. Ladies and gentlemen, please take a seat. Mr. Premji, you've seen India change so much. You've seen the IT services story change as it has. If I were to ask you to succinctly tell me what you believe have been the biggest changes in your mind that have taken shape and that will drive us forward, what would those be?
It's a difficult question. I think what will really drive us into the next sphere is a belief in ourselves in terms of what we can achieve as a country and what we can achieve as a nation.
I remember you said once, Mr. Premji, and I know you don't speak to the press very often anymore, which is sad. I hope that you will start speaking a little bit more. But I remember you said once that if your dreams are too small, you need to have bigger dreams so that people can laugh at them. But at the end of the day, if you deliver on them, then you've done your part. What was the dream? One of the dreams that you had in the course of your career that people thought, no way, no can do, and then it turned out to be a reality?
I must think about this really. I think I did not dream that we would make such a successful foundation, and it's making an impact. It's making a real impact to the country, to the poverty of the country.
Mr. Premji, the foundation has done fabulous work. It is one of the world's richest endowments, and I want to stress a little bit on that. What is driving you to do what you do at the foundation? What motivates you? What makes you wake up every morning and say, this is what we need to go after, this is the next big problem that we need to address, and address it at scale? What's keeping you going?
I just see it as my duty. That's it.
And that is so appropriately put and yet so powerful. But Mr. Premji, you know, as you look back in time today at all the experiences that you've had, at the life that you've led, is there something that you may have wanted to tell your younger self to do differently?
I should have spent more time with my family.
That is a regret that many share. That is a regret that many share on this stage. What is next for Azim Premji? You know, you're standing here today, inducted into the Hall of Fame at the India Business Leader Awards. What do you hold as the next big milestone for yourself?
I really don't know. I have not thought about it from that point of view.
So live every moment. What is the message that you want to give out to young entrepreneurs, to the people sitting in this room who are navigating uncertain times and navigating boardrooms, making difficult decisions? What have been the 10 commandments, the 5 commandments that you've always followed that you'd like to share here with the room today?
I think people should think big, and they should also always follow a code of conduct, a code of integrity, because integrity is non-compromisable.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Hall of Fame for 2022, Mr. Azim Premji, what a true pleasure and honor to have you here with us today, sir. Thank you so very much indeed. I will. I'll.
Thank you so much, sir, for joining us here tonight. CNBC-TV18 is indeed humbled to induct Mr. Azim Premji into the India Business Leader Awards Hall of Fame. A huge round of applause once again, ladies and gentlemen, for Mr. Azim Premji.
For the next award, may I now request Ms. Daruwala to join Hardeep Puri and Shireen as well as Mr. Uday Kotak on stage.
It's time now to unveil the Outstanding Company of the Year, and here are the nominees for this year.
In the category Outstanding Company of the Year, the nominees are Infosys, Hindalco, Cipla, Titan, Apollo Hospital, and Mahindra Rise.
And here's a look at the winner.
From an infant Indian tech startup to a global software giant.
In the past 5 years, we've put in place a transformation that has changed the company to focus even more on client relevance, and with that, more and more on digital capabilities.
This is a story of resounding success. And the simple secret sauce behind this incredible transformation is not the cult of the individual, but the power of the collective.
Our 340,000 dedicated employees are working tirelessly to serve our clients. In fact, we are bringing all of our work, expertise and capabilities together and make that available for our clients through the concept called One Infosys.
Today, Infosys is one of the chief architects of India's emergence as a global software destination. In the last 3 years, the company has seen an impressive revenue growth of 42% and recurring revenue up 61%.
Relevance, responsiveness and resilience, I think that's been the mantra of the last several years. I think that's held us in good stead.
And most importantly, they've had a great time doing it.
When you make your work in the office fun, I don't need to tell you, the workload doesn't hit you at all.
For revolutionizing the software industry across the world and for being the pride of India, CNBC-TV18 India Business Leader Awards proudly presents Outstanding Company of the Year Award to Infosys.
Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Infosys, a company that needs no introduction. I'd like to welcome Mr. Salil Parekh, CEO Infosys, on stage for winning the Outstanding Company of the Year at the 18th India Business Leader Awards.
Congratulations, Salil. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the award for 2022. 2023 is proving to be a far more challenging year as far as the tech business is concerned. But Salil, let's talk about that. You've been laying out a transformation roadmap. You had a 3-year transformation roadmap for the company. Today, where you find yourself in a world where everyone's now talking about how AI is going to be the next big disruptor, what it's going to do to the Indian IT services business, how do you look at this challenge? And do you see it as an opportunity for a company like yours?
No, you won't be able to hold both.
I think the minister likes our award.
So first, huge thanks to CNBC-TV18 and the jury. The award is incredible. Sitting in the audience and listening to the stories of everyone has been really eye-opening for me. And to have Infosys in this group is truly fantastic. I think, Shireen, generative AI is the next frontier. So what we've already done, but what everyone will do, generative AI allows for huge impact in productivity. We've already put together for our own software development on open source generative AI platforms, our own tools that allow software to be developed faster. And this is being used within the company already. And we will be using, we're also using it for clients today, but it will be used across all of the company very soon. So generative AI is a fantastic capability. We are excited about it. We think India is going to be a leader in this the same way that we saw India being a leader in digital. You know, what we've done, for example, with GST, with the income tax system, the collections are incredible. This is something that Infosys will contribute to India and to the world.
Yes, you're right in pointing out that is the next big disruption, and many Indian companies like yours are looking at it as an opportunity as well. But if I were to ask you specifically, in terms of capabilities for the Indian IT services sector, and you can talk about Infosys in particular, given the difficult environment that we're seeing today, do you believe that this is a temporary phase that we're going to ride out, or do you believe that there is likely to be more sustained pain?
The way we see this, the future for technology is incredible. Of course, there are different types of programs. Clients look at digital programs and clients look at cost and efficiency. Today, there's much more emphasis on cost and efficiency. So digital programs are slower, but over time, these are going to come back as the global economy picks up as well.
What is the target that you've set for the team? I know the guidance that's been set, but what is the target that's been set for the team in the long term, not quarter on quarter?
It's always good, Shireen, to interact with you because you are very good with the questions you ask. I really heard one of the winners here speak about not having financial targets, and to me that is very impressive. For us, it's really most critical to have client relevance and working on programs that change what clients are doing. And that's what we're doing, whether it's within India, whether it's globally. Global clients work with us because we can transform them, and that's the objective. Of course, everyone, 340,000 people within Infosys are working to make sure that we drive all the success outside.
We wish you even more success, Salil Parekh. Thank you very, very much. Ladies and gentlemen, the company of the year, Infosys Technologies, a big round of applause.
Congratulations once again, Mr. Parekh, and thank you for being here with us tonight. Finally, as we draw the award categories to a close to present the final award of the evening, this award is for the Outstanding Business Leader of the Year. And here are the nominees.
In the category Outstanding Business Leader of the Year, The nominees are Anish Shah, Varun Berry, Salil Parekh, Velayan Subaya, TV Narendran, and Dinesh Khara.
And the Outstanding Business Leader of the Year award goes to...
They say the finest men are forged from the toughest steel.
I look at a crisis always as an opportunity.
When TV Narendran isn't running a marathon or playing cricket, he's busy transforming Tata Steel into the most profitable company of the Tata Group.
We have the capability to turn difficult assets around, get the most out of it.
But it wasn't always such a rosy story for India's largest integrated steel company.
Challenges always drive me, complexity drives me. I think I'm always excited about a situation which requires great application of mind and effort.
When TV Narendran took over the reins of India's first privately owned steel company 9 years ago, Tata Steel was in the red. Today, Tata Steel has outpaced TCS in consolidated revenue for the Tata Group. Despite having 65,000 employees spread across 5 continents, TV Narendran has miraculously halved Tata Steel's debt by over 50,000 crores. With some nifty business acquisitions, Tata Steel's goal of a 40 million ton capacity are well and truly on track. TV Narendran's next goal, to helm the world's most ecologically sensitive steel producer.
So now it's time for me to give back, do whatever I can for Tata Steel.
For steering Tata Steel from a legacy brand to one of the world's leading steel manufacturers, and for putting India on the global steel map. CNBC-TV18 India Business Leader Awards proudly presents the Outstanding Business Leader of the Year award to TV Narendran.
A big round of applause for Mr. TV Narendran, the global CEO and MD of Tata Steel. He joined Tata Steel way back in 1988 and has made his way to the post of Managing Director in 2013. Having spent 35 years in the company in various roles, he is credited with reinventing and reshaping Tata Steel into a force of the future. A big round of applause once again for Mr. TV Narendran.
Mr. Narendran, congratulations and thank you very much for joining us here this evening. We've spoken about this, and there's many changes that have happened at Tata Steel under your stewardship. Of course, the acquisitions that we've seen, especially through the NCLT process in the last few years, that's been a big change. The focus on India, a renewed commitment to the domestic story, that's been a big change. And debt reduction, a significant 50,000 crores cut in terms of debt reduction. I think that's been a significant milestone that you've achieved. What's next now, as far as you're concerned?
Thank you, Shireen. Firstly, thank you to the jury. I must, in the interest of full disclosure, say that I was part of the jury but not part of the discussion, right? Anyway, so thank you very much. Great privilege for me to accept it on behalf of all the employees of Tata Steel, past and present. It's a journey. This is a company that's been around for 110 years. So we always look at what is it that we're going to leave behind for the next generation. I think we want to leave behind an organization which is culturally, structurally, and financially future ready. India is a great opportunity. India is already the second largest producer of steel in the world. China is 8 times the size of India, so that's in some sense the opportunity that there is. India is blessed with a lot of geological richness. So I think Tata Steel wants to play a big role in that journey, and thanks to the government for spending so much on infrastructure, I think it's a great opportunity for us. Yeah.
Zareen has a question. Zareen.
So how is your journey going to be on the green steel?
So that's a big one, and I'm glad the minister is here, because firstly, we need a lot of gas in Eastern India if we are to make that journey, because ultimately you have to replace coal with gas or hydrogen, or you have to recycle steel, and I think we're doing all of that. It's a bouquet of solutions that we need to chase. The regulatory framework also needs to encourage that. Customers need to pay more, so multiple things need to happen. I think Europe is already doing that, and I think India is moving in that direction. Tata Steel has already made a commitment to go net zero by 2045, and I think we're doing a number of things. Also great opportunity for us to work with startups, because a lot of innovative work, we see the startups in the B2C space more than we see startups in the technology space. Today we recognize 2 of them. There are many working in materials and B2B businesses, and I think we need to leverage that.
I don't know how many of you know this, but TV Narendran plays the drums. I wish I had a drum kit at the back, but I unfortunately don't. So what is the beat that's making you dance to work every day?
I think I love my job. I think that's important. Otherwise, I wouldn't have lasted 35 years in the same company or the same industry. I think that's important, to choose the company and the industry that you like and give it all you have.
And is there a personal milestone that you've set for yourself next?
Every year I say I must lose weight. Never happens.
Well, TV Narendran, we wish you the very best of luck with that as well. But thank you very, very much. Ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause for the CEO of the Year at the India Business Leader Award.
Well, before we call it an evening, I request you to stay on for a minute. I'd like to invite all the winners, all the presenters back on stage for a group photo opportunity. So please make your way to the stage.
Ladies and gentlemen, a huge round of applause for all our winners here tonight. Request all of you to kindly come on stage for a group photo op.
At this moment, I also thank our partners, presenting sponsors Standard Chartered and Hindustan Times for their unending support to the India Business Leader Awards. A big round of applause for all the award winners and the presenters, please.
Ladies and gentlemen, a huge round of applause for all our winners here on stage, all our presenters and our jury.
Congratulations once again to each and every one of you. Thank you for making all of us so proud. A big round of applause for all the winners standing right here on stage at the India Business Leader Awards. A huge congratulations to each and every one of you and your teams. Ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the end of the 18th edition of
18th India Business Leader Awards in partnership with Hindustan Times. Standard Chartered presents 18th India Business Leader Awards in partnership with Hindustan Times.